Hi guys, and welcome just to a quick introduction and just a hi from me really. This is the January Fitness Challenge and I can't believe it. This is 3 years now that this fitness challenge has been running. And what it basically is it was born out of the concept and the idea, the psychology side of it, where we are looking at how do we nail this fitness thing? How do we do it? How do we get fitness embedded into our life, into our lifestyle? And how do we get into a point in a stage where we are doing this regularly, we're feeling good about it, and we want to do it? So, from a psychological point of view, there's a fair amount of um, things that we need to tick and that we need to embrace and that we need to be doing in order to get to the point where fitness and doing exercise and being active are part and parcel of our daily lives. And in order to do that, I created a fitness group where it was really simple concept. It was, I'm going to post a very short workout every single day for a month. And at that time, regardless if you paid or not, um, at that time, if you didn't post the word done every day by midnight in your time zone, I removed you from the group. You were out the group, and I didn't give you a warning. It was posted, that was the instruction. Every day you have to do this. And if you don't do it, I'm going to throw you out the group. And that's what I did. And I was really harsh with it. And I remember I used to receive messages from people, please don't throw me out the group. I was really sick. I was really, whatever, my child was ill. And I stuck to it and said, I'm really sorry, but that's the rules of the group. If you can't keep up and you're not doing it, you're out. And it wasn't so much to try and punish people, but it was really to really embed that whole theory of if you do something every day for 30 days, it becomes a habit. And that was the whole point of the group. It was to show you and to prove to you that you can get fitness into your life on a daily basis and you can create a habit. So the difficulty is when someone goes at the new year, especially at this new year, new you kind of zone, people will go and they will pay for gym memberships or they will pay for whatever it is for fitness for the year, and they will say, okay, I'm going to go and do this. And what happens is they don't have the backup to help them, to guide them, to aid them, to support them, to get them through there. And especially so when you buy a gym membership. You buy a gym membership and then you think that willpower alone will see you through the whole entire year and you will be able to do this. And this time I'm going to nail it, I'm going to do it. And willpower isn't enough. Willpower, sadly, is not enough. And we know that because we can see other places of addiction where you look at habits, where habits have completely formed, and it's the other way around, and people who have created habits already, and let's use smoking as the example, and people can't drop that. Willpower alone is not enough for them to stop smoking. So let's have a quick chat about habits. Habits are rituals. They're things that you do subconsciously that you have no idea that you're even doing them. The way that you lock your front door, where you put that key. Religiously, it's always going in the same way. Where you put your mobile phone in the house, the way you tuck your hair behind your ears. There are things daily that you will do that are so embedded habitually, ritually, that you will not even know that you're doing them. And that's a habit. Now, there are 3 zones of habits. There are good habits that enhance your life. There are bad habits that do damage to your life. And there are nondescript habits that you and I won't even know that we're doing, that don't add value, aren't that bad, they just happen every day, okay? Now, the key to success in fitness is to, if you're starting from scratch, is to create good habits. And creating habits, let me tell you, are so tough to do. And when you get to a certain point in trying to create a habit, you will want to give up. And at that point there, when you're like, this is too much hard work, I don't want to do this anymore, you will fall off the proverbial wagon. And it's only when you've got a personal trainer or a coach or someone who is keeping you accountable that will then be able to say, no, you're not giving up. No, I won't allow you to stop now. You have to keep on going. Once you get that person that can just get you over 4, 5, 6 days of doubt, 4, 5, 6 days of I don't want to do this, 4, 5, 6 days of I give up, gets you past that zone, then actually you'll find that you're okay. And that you're like, okay, I am grudgingly doing this now, but fair enough, I'm doing it. And that then gets you to the end of your 30 days. And once you get to the end of your 30 days, you're then in a position of saying, was that worth it? Was it not? Do I feel better? Do I not? What do I want to do now? And more often than not, you'll be like, it wasn't so bad. I can do it for another 30 days. And so you start again and you start to commit for another 30 days. That point at that stage at the day, probably around, especially when I'm talking about this fitness challenge, that period of the day 14, 15, 16, 17, that's when you think, I can skip a day. I can skip a day here, no problem. I feel like I've got this nailed. I'm going to skip a day. I don't feel like it. Things today have been really rough. It's, I've not got the car started. Kids have been a nightmare. Work has been full on. I can't find the 10 minutes. I'm going to skip a day. That skipping a day is your ego telling you that you've got this nailed as a habit and that you can afford to skip a day because you have got this nailed. And your ego is totally wrong. Your ego is wrong. It isn't at day 14, 15 that you have any habits nailed whatsoever. You haven't. There's no, and you can look at this psychologically, there's no proof that you've got it nailed at that period of time. So at that stage, if you do want to skip a day and get out and not do something, you are in a risk zone. And you need the pressure on you to say, no, you're not skipping a day. Find your 10 minutes and do the workout. Get it done and let's move on. And tomorrow, let's try again. And you have to keep that mindset. There will be exercises that will be tough. There will be days where you can't be bothered. There will be other days where you're bursting of energy and you could do more than 10 minutes. So you have to appreciate your body, appreciate this little journey that you're going on. And you need to believe me when I say there will be days where it will be tougher than other days to do. What you need to do is reach out. You are in a fitness group. You can mute your notifications on WhatsApp or on the fitmama app. You can mute the notifications so you're not getting bombarded, so that you dip in when you want to dip in. But if you want to do a cry for help and say, I'm struggling, I'm just not feeling this, I can't get into this zone, reach out. That's what we're here for. We're here, not only your peers who are also in the challenge, but me especially. I'm here to then say, you can do this. Come on, let's do it. Let's get it organised. What time do you want to commit to this? I'm going to set my diary. I'll commit to it with you. Let's do it. That's what we're here for, and we're here to see you through. Another thing a lot of people say is 10 minutes enough? The short answer to that is no, it's not. 10 minutes a day is definitely not enough. You should be up about 20, 30 minutes per day every single day. But I've just told you how difficult habits are to create. So let's just take this one step at a time. If I went and said to you, let's do 20 to 30 minutes per day, of course you're going to notice a massive difference after 30 days, not only in your body size, weight, shape, measurements, body fat. Of course you are. That is why personal trainers do before and after shots. That's why personal trainers give you 30-day challenges where every day you're working out and every day you're looking at your food and restricting your food or watching your diet. Of course, because at the end of 30 days, they can easily say, if you stuck to this religiously, your before photo and your after photo will be dramatically different. Thereafter, I can prove that my program works. That's a no-brainer. That's an absolute marketing no-brainer. And I could do that with every single one of my fit mamas. I don't believe in before and after photos for mums, purely because our bodies make such sacrifices through a pregnancy that our bodies before and after could be the exact same in terms of stretch marks, in terms of the donut shape that we get when we get this pouch in our stomach. It could be drastically different. It could be our pelvic floors haven't improved so that we're not able to do a lot of jumpy stuff. So it totally depends. So a before and after for a postpartum female who has carried a child is completely unfair. It just doesn't. It isn't relative to anybody to anybody else who hasn't carried a child. A mum who hasn't carried a child but is still going through the same as what women who have carried children have. So sleepless nights, still teething children, feeding children, you know, young toddlers. They've still got the exact same trials and tribulations of life as a woman who has carried a child. So anybody who's adopted or used a surrogate or, you know, whatever it is, fostering children, these mums are going through the same pains as every other mum who's carried a child. But for women who've carried a child, I don't see a before and after photo giving any benefit whatsoever, which is why I don't do them. However, 30 minutes per day, if you were able to hit that, wow, you're unicorn, you're totally hitting it, you're amazing. 10 minutes per day is an awesome start, and that's where we're going to start with. The whole point of this is to help you to create habits. So let's get into creating habits first. Once you've created the habit, you're loving the buzz, you're loving the energy, you love your newfound strength, you love your new body as you're creating a new body and changing it, the shape and the look of it, then let's build it up. And the 20-minute zones are probably perfect for that. They will get you driving that little bit more and give you longer workouts and letting you see if you could take the stamina up a little level from 10 minutes per day up to 20 minutes. The 20-minute zones at the moment, you have to do 4 per week. If you wanted to do more, you can do. You can repeat workouts if you like. That's absolutely fine. Key things to take a note and to bear in mind is get your basic exercise technique spot on, perfect, and then start adding the rep speed. So get your cadence up with your speed. So what I mean by that is make sure your push-ups are perfect before you then start going deeper into your push-ups and before you start really cranking through the rep count. Push-ups, never ever in a million years do you ever do a push-up on your knees. And I do not care what famous personal trainers you are watching, you are seeing, you are following, you are liking posts, whatever it is, I see every single famous personal trainer out there doing push-ups on knees and I do not get it at all. I would have a conversation with any of them about this. I don't get it. Push-ups on knees are damaging to the kneecaps, okay? If you're somebody who has little upper body strength or you have excess weight, why would you do a push-up on your kneecaps? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Second point is, when you're on your knees, your upper body angle changes. Your actual technique and what it is that you're working completely changes. So unless the only exclusion I could ever give with this is unless you're face-to-face with a personal trainer and they're guiding you through it, but even at that, it's totally a waste of time. Push-ups, if you cannot do them on your hands and toes on the ground, you elevate your upper body. That means your technique of your body's shape, size, everything that you're doing is the exact same as on the floor. You're just elevating it up onto sofa. If that's too hard for you, the back of the sofa, so the back of a bench in a park, if that's too difficult for you, get it onto a wall. And then once you start to progress and build upper body strength, you then start taking it down and eventually you'll be on the floor. So that's my advice to you. Never ever do push-ups on knees. Squats, you have to get a basic movement for squat organised as well. You're not tucking the tailbone under necessarily, but you're not sticking your tailbone up either. You're keeping your body in a completely neutral position so that when your knees start collapsing down, your upper body is folding naturally, okay? So I'll do that as we're going along. Jumpy exercises are brilliant for your skeleton, especially for females in the attempt that we make to prevent osteoporosis. You do need your skeleton to be bang, bang, banging. Jumpy stuff works with that. Skipping, jumping jacks, high knees, explosive jumps, anything where you're jumping up and your skeleton is banging back down is perfect for that. Anything like that is not perfect for a weak pelvic floor. Go figure. So good for the bones, not good for the pelvic floor. What is more important? Me personally, my pelvic floor. I want to have a good sex life and I want to be able to keep pee and urine in when I'm laughing or sneezing. So for these two reasons alone, my pelvic floor is far more important to me than my bone density. I need to sort it out. What is it that I can sort out? I can sort out my pelvic floor. Can't really do much about my bone density. It is what it is, but my pelvic floor I can sort. And you will not sort your pelvic floor muscles doing my exercises. They are completely different. So you have to do pelvic floor specific exercises. They are usually known as Kegel-based exercises. And you want to make sure your pelvic floor, you are understanding that you're pulling in and you're also pulling up the pelvic floor. The squeeze in part is when you hear people say that you can stop urine when you're at the toilet. So when you're at the toilet and you're urinating and you could stop, you know, you just pull everything in, you pull all that in and the urine stops, then you release, then you stop. I don't encourage you to do that because any urine infections are quite easy to pick up when you do that. But what I'd say to you is you need to be squeezing, you have to squeeze in, and you also have to pull up your pelvic floor. So you have to do pelvic floor specific exercises for that. These are a lot closer towards the physiotherapist route than the personal trainer route. So if you're finding that you are particularly weak pelvic floor, don't continue to do tons of jumping jacks and jumpy exercises that I'm showing you. Don't continue with that. You're doing more damage than you're doing any more good. So you need to work on, if you're finding that and you're like, I'm going to wet myself every time here, you need to get your pelvic floor sorted out. You need to work on that, and you can do that in conjunction with doing my sessions, but you need to do the basic versions of my sessions, not any advanced stuff, okay? If you need any more detail on that, please DM me and get in touch with me, because I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you privately and to make sure that you're getting the best you possibly can. The other part to remember for new moms is your split abs. So if your abs are split, you'll find that split abs, they're not painful and there are no exercises that you can't do, but there are exercises that you shouldn't do because you don't want to make that gap any bigger, any wider, and you actually want to see if your body is naturally going to heal and knit back in and these muscles to come back in. Most women, when they are pregnant, will have a split abdominal just purely because of the way the muscle fibers work. They go up and down, they run up and down. It's your six-pack that we're talking about here, and when the bump obviously comes out, that six-pack separates, and that's where you get your split abs from. In very basic terms, I appreciate there's far more medical background than that, but in basic terms for this video. And when obviously your baby comes out and these abs are starting to pull back in, that's when the gap will start to close. For some women, that gap never closes. For some, that doesn't bother them. For others, cosmetically, it does. And that's when we need to have a look at a medical side as well. Again, that's outside the realms of a PT. That's more towards the realms of OB/GYN, so that's your gynecologist side. And then obviously to speak to your doctor to say this isn't correct. But in terms of exercises, it doesn't really affect your exercises too much, but there's some exercises you don't want to do that will make that worse, and that's anything where your body is facing downwards and putting pressure and the weight pushing forward on these muscles to gape them out even more. So things like static planks, avoid like the plague. Crunchies, no point doing them. Sit-ups, my sit-ups are kind of slow-mo sit-ups. They're roll sit-ups and they take a lot of action up and a lot of arms out and things like that. And that actually works to strengthen your side obliques and your toe trunk area and what's called your transverse abdominis, your tibia, which goes around this way. That's their corset hugging in muscles. So I do more sit-ups, that version, than I do just proper sit-ups that you would see in a gym. So I'd say you're okay with that. But anything where you're plank-based and you're letting all these muscles come down and push on that hole even more to widen that gap, kind of avoid them. Again, any questions, get in touch. And that's about it. The consistency is the key. Stick to it. Do it every single day. Do as much as you can to get yourself back into the habit zone. And bear this in mind, habits are not easy to form. They are really difficult. So if you're finding it a struggle or you want to just pack it in and not do something today, get in touch and get camaraderie. Get your team behind you. Get some help to get you pushing you through. Days 14 to probably day 20 is your danger zone. Any of these days on your first challenge, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. And these are the days where you should reach out and we can help you out. Any questions, get in touch. I know this is running on to 20 minutes now. I didn't want it to be quite as long as this, but here we go. And if you need to get any more help on specific exercises that you're finding really, really tough, let me know and I can do quick tutorials on each exercise, whether that be push-ups or burpees or inchworms or whatever it is, and I can then get that done for you. I speak really fast and it's to try and speed up the video and we're still on 20 minutes. Welcome. Bring on board anybody you think who would be interested. We are now at the building the business stage. So if anybody has any friends, work colleagues, anybody that would be interested in doing fitmama, get them to get in touch and let's see what we can do. Good luck, guys.